In 2017, a photo of an Iranian girl went viral. Viral marketing on the global internet. Sunken cheeks. Eyes as big as empty spaces. See the distorted nose. All media outlets were telling the same story. This girl had 54 plastic surgeries. Turned herself into a zombie version of Angelina Jolie. CNN exploded and so did the BBC. Dozens of global media outlets scrambled for blood. Nearly 500,000 people were following her because of this. Then she was arrested by the Iranian government. Sentenced to 10 years. But today, the truly outrageous part of this story is not that she was sentenced to 10 years. The outrageous part is that from beginning to end, almost every part you thought was true is fake. Those photos are fake. 50 surgeries is fake. The story told by global media is also fake. But the cost built on this pile of fake things is real. She was really sentenced to 10 years. This girl is from Tehran, Iran. Born in 2001. She has an online nickname. Let's just call her Tabar. In 2017, she was 16. Started posting photos on Instagram. Initially, just ordinary selfies. Not many followers. But she quickly found a more traffic-driving tactic. Using makeup and photo editing to create extremely exaggerated looks for her face. Face painted ghostly white. Eyes appear insanely large. Nose edited to be sharp and pointed. Cheeks sunken like hollow lotus roots. The whole person looked like a character out of the movie Corpse Bride. This indeed sent shockwaves. Global media flooded in. Every report was telling the same story. Iranian girl had 50 crazy plastic surgeries, turned into a zombie version of Angelina Jolie. But here is a key piece of information. She never said she had 50 plastic surgeries. She herself emphasized from the start that none of this was true. She clarified this during media interviews in 2017, saying her appearance mainly relies on makeup and retouching. She says she has only had 3 cosmetic surgery procedures. Cute nose, liposuction, lip filling, far from 50 surgeries. Her original words are, every time I post a photo, I use more exaggerated ways to do my face. This is a way to express oneself, a kind of art. All my fans know, this is not my real appearance. Is that clear enough? But no one cares, because this kind of information isn't spreadable. Imagine if the title of our episode was, Yin Yang Girl uses makeup and retouching to spoof herself. Who would click to see it? But if changed to, Yin Yang Girl undergoes 50 surgeries to become a zombie. Wouldn't you feel like you're missing out if you don't click? So global media has the same perspective as me. Use the same method. Netizens don't have time to verify the truth. Seen enough, it becomes just a bizarre story. So a teenage girl was pushed into the spotlight by a completely wrong persona. During those few months, she went from a few thousand fans to nearly 500,000. She relied on a lie with a fake story. And this fake story wasn't made up by her. It was made up by the media for her. This in itself is absurd enough, but no one expected the real disaster was yet to come. Before talking about her arrest, let's discuss some background information. 2019 in England, Facebook, Twitter, Telegram were all banned. At the time, the only international social platform young people could use was basically just Instagram. This made Instagram in England at the time no longer just a social software. It became the only outlet for young people to express themselves, became the only online space for women to show their real selves, and also became an anti-establishment circle. Naturally, the authorities were impatient with this window. In the second half of 2019, only 14 Instagram influencers were arrested. Tabar was one of them. Among them were also 3 female influencers. It was just a video of a dance posted online, and then she was arrested. The authorities quickly charged Tabar with 10 offenses: 1 blasphemy, 2 inciting violence, 3 illegally obtaining income, 4 money laundering, 5 violating national dress laws, 6 encouraging youth corruption, 7 insulting the Islamic headscarf, 8 spreading hatred, 9 vulgar behavior, 10 promoting abnormal behavior. Let's be honest, some of Tabar's videos and photos, even I would feel a bit discomforted. But these 10 charges are too severe, just blasphemy alone. In England, it could lead to the death penalty. Inciting violence placed in any country is categorized as a serious charge more than 2 weeks after being arrested. On October 22, 2019, England radio broadcasted an interview. Tabar appeared on the screen, wearing a veil, her face blurred. The introduction by the second channel described her as a zombie with an abnormal personality and mental state. The national radio referred to a 19-year-old girl this way. The host deliberately mentioned in the interview that her parents are divorced, implying that children from broken families having psychological issues is not surprising. Then on camera, she really confessed, saying social media ruined her life, saying she regretted pursuing fame, saying she was wrong. In this interview, the TV station packaged her into a pitiful figure with psychological disorders, meaning she wasn't bad, she was insane. This definition indeed moderated some charges against her, but at the cost of her voice as an independent person being completely erased. She said it was artistic expression. No one mentioned it anymore. She said her fans knew it was fake. No one mentioned it either. What the TV needed wasn't her explanation. What the TV needed was an image of her admitting her faults. Now the footage has been obtained. The mission is complete. Up to this point, the story has been depressing enough, but 2020 has not arrived yet. At the beginning of 2020, the COVID outbreak, Iran was the hardest hit country in the Middle East. Official numbers are nearly 5,000 deaths, 78,000 infections, but it is widely believed that the real numbers are much higher than this. In April 2020, news came out. Tabar contracted COVID in prison. Her condition was serious. She was sent to the hospital, put on a ventilator. Her lawyer immediately applied to the court for temporary release to let her receive treatment, but the judge refused. Who is this judge? The presiding judge of the Iranian Revolutionary Court. If you check human rights organizations' records, you will find her name repeatedly appearing in various cases. Cases of dissidents, cases of social activists, notoriously among 2 main sentences. Bail denied. The lawyer said, all other defendants in the same case have been released. Only Tabar remains detained. We have visited the court office many times, requested to change the arrest warrant to bail, but she always said no. On the other hand, the prison warden publicly denied that Tabar had contracted COVID. The lawyer helplessly said, "Denial has become a habit for the authorities." It's actually quite ironic. Iran was temporarily releasing about 85,000 prisoners to alleviate the pressure of the pandemic in prisons. Political prisoners were released, human rights lawyers were released, various non-violent offenders were also released. But a 19-year-old girl, sentenced for posting selfies, was stubbornly kept in custody. As for how she survived later, the outside world does not know, but she did make it through the difficulty. Then in December 2020, the verdict came late. Tabar was sentenced to 10 years in prison. She was 19 years old when she was caught. If she serves the full sentence, at the time of the case, she was 29. Her whole 20s would be gone, just because she posted a few selfies with makeup and retouching on Instagram. And the authenticity of these photos, she had been repeatedly explaining since 2017 that it was makeup and retouching, not 50 plastic surgeries. But no one listened. The media didn't listen. The government also didn't listen. Actually, by the time it reached the sentencing stage, no one cared about the facts anymore. She was chosen. She had to go through the process. But why was it precisely Tabar? There's a detail worth mentioning here. Iran in 2019 was undergoing massive social protests. The authorities needed to tighten online control. Tabar had nearly 500,000 followers. Her image was edgy enough. Her topics were strong enough. The visual impact was also top-notch. She became the perfect example. At that time, a rogue Iranian journalist said while talking about Tabar, the authorities needed to pick someone with enough topicality so everyone could see the consequences. Tabar was the chosen one. As for whether she actually committed a crime, whether the charges were valid, whether 10 years was reasonable, none of these were within the scope of consideration. What was important was letting all the still active on Instagram Iranian youth see, this is the cost of becoming famous. The signal was clear enough, right? The journalist later tried through Twitter to call out to Angelinos Jolie, requesting support, but unfortunately, Jolie never responded. However, the good news is, Tabar didn't actually spend 10 years in prison. After being detained for about 14 months, October 2022, the news came out, half of his charges were dropped. The remaining sentence was converted to bail awaiting trial. But the most astonishing moment of this story appeared after he was released from prison. He went on TV again. This time his face was not blurred. Appearing on the screen was a young woman with decent features, with fair skin. Had cosmetic surgery. It was done. Indeed, you can see it. Some nose work, some lip fillers, exactly as he said before. But that's it. Compared to that zombie bride image spread globally, it's completely a different species. At this moment, audiences worldwide had to admit what he said from the beginning was true. Makeup and retouching are that simple. There weren't 50 cosmetic surgeries at all. During an interview, he said, "When I went to prison, I was an internet celebrity. After coming out, I became myself again. A username sent him to prison. After coming out, he threw away the username, returned to his real name." He also said some other things. Said he was genuinely regretful. Said the judge was very merciful. Said he would never touch Instagram again. That thing is too evil. He said these words right after coming out of prison, facing the state television camera. Everyone understood what he could and couldn't say. Everyone understood in their hearts. The story is almost over here. But there is a follow-up. In 2024, a TikTok account appeared. The username is his name, now has over 10,000 followers. The bio says the most wanted girl in England. He posted a video. The general meaning is, this is my last interview on the English web. I have changed. I am no longer related to my past self. Last time on the English web. Does this mean he has left the English web? There's no answer until today. But what I actually want to talk about is not his whereabouts. What I want to discuss is the event itself. From beginning to end, this story. I think there are 3 layers of absurdity. The first layer of absurdity. Global media turned a makeup artist, a retouching rogue, into various stories of bravery 50 times over. He himself clarified from the very beginning. But no one cared. The second layer of absurdity. Because of the lies fabricated by the media. He was charged with 10 crimes. Sentenced to 10 years. Yet afterwards, not a single media outlet stepped up to support him. The third layer, also the quietest of all, is about what he did. Retouching and posting photos on social media. Displaying a self that doesn't look too real. Actually, now there are billions of people globally doing this every day. Beauty filters, effects, retouching, AI face swaps. Now, open any social platform. It's full of unreal faces, including the one of me you're looking at now. It also needs to be retouched. I really wouldn't dare to show it without retouching. It truly takes courage. Our only difference with Tabar is he happened to live in a place that doesn't allow him to do so.